Let me paint you a picture. You've built something real, a business that generates revenue, creates jobs, solves actual problems in people's lives, and you have a service or a product that you know can change someone's situation. But when you put it in front of the market, crickets, or worse, you hear, I need to think about it. You hear this over and over and over and over again. Here's what nobody has told you yet. The problem is not your service. The problem is that your offer that you wanted to sell is not what your client is already standing in line to buy. Today, we fix that for good. I'm going to give you something at the end of today's session that will literally rewrite how you think about offers forever. It's a single free frame that has generated millions of revenue for entrepreneurs across every industry. You want to stay for that. Don't leave early. And if you're here and you're new, welcome. Please hit subscribe right now. This is a weekly momentum webinar series. Every week, real strategy for entrepreneurs and founders who are serious about growth. All right, let's go. Yet, before we do go into the strategy, I need to shift your state because here's the truth. Your offer design that no one teaches this in business school, but the truth about your offer design is you cannot access your client's desire from inside your own head. You can, or you have to step into their world first so you know what to do for them. You want to do something right now for them. So take a breath, a real one. Let's see. In through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, and hold. Okay, release and exhale. Let's do that again. In through your nose, deep, hold, and release. Good. Now, bring to mind your absolute best client, not a difficult one, not a complicated one, your best one. The one who showed up ready, fully committed, implemented everything, and got results that made you think, this is why I built this business. Feel what that felt like when they said yes. Feel that when they committed, not because you convinced them, but because they recognized that your offer was exactly what they had been looking for. Now, notice something important. They didn't buy what you sold them. They bought what they saw themselves becoming. Hold that distinction because that is the foundation of everything that you're going to build today. And that energy is the energy we want to operate from. In this session and every time you strategize an offer. So let's build. So most entrepreneurs, whether you're running a consulting firm, a tech company, a service business, a product line, or a portfolio of offerings, make the same foundational mistake. They design their offer from the inside out. They start with, here's what I'm good at, here's my methodology, here's my process. And they build backward from their own expertise. But your client does not buy your process, they buy their future. There are three offer design errors that I see entrepreneurs make over and over and over again. I'm going to name them fast, and you want to be honest with yourself about which one hits home for you. So, error number one, this is seller centered language. We provide comprehensive strategic services. That sentence tells me everything about you and nothing about me as the buyer. Your client skips it. Error number two, want without need. Clients will tell you what they want, but what they need, the deeper thing underneath, that is what creates the transformation. Magnetic offers satisfy the want so well that the client doesn't even realize you also gave them what they need. That is the genius in the move. Okay, error number three, designed for a crowd. If your offer speaks to every entrepreneur, it connects with none. Specificity is not a limitation. Specificity is a magnet. The more precisely you describe one person's exact reality, the more people will say, how did you know? This is not complicated. It's just different. From how most people create what their offers look like and how most entrepreneurs think. And today we are switching the lens on that. So I'm giving you a 4-part framework today. And I named it intentionally because every magnetic offer starts with one question. What does my client genuinely want? The framework is called want. And by the time we're done with it, you will never look at your offer the same again. Start with W, what they want, the surface desire. Your client has a conscious want. Name it explicitly in your offer. Don't make them translate, don't make them work to see themselves in what you're describing. An entrepreneur wants more revenue and less chaos, faster decisions, bigger deals, a stronger team. Your offer headline must mirror their stated desire. Verbatim, if possible, when someone reads your offer and thinks, that is exactly what I've been trying to solve. You've won the first 3 seconds. Everything after that is just confirmation. Here's an exercise, and I mean do this right now. Write down the single sentence your best client used to describe their problem in their words, not yours. So write that down right now. That sentence belongs in your offer. I'll give you a moment. Write down a single sentence your best client used to describe their problem in their words. And that sentence belongs in your offer. Okay, part two of this, an acronym is A, in the framework. What they actually, A is actually, what they actually need, the deeper driver. This is where transformation lives and where most entrepreneurs miss it. Your client says they want more revenue. What they actually need is the belief that they deserve it. Your client says they want a better team. What they actually need is to stop being the ceiling in their own company. The magnetic offer satisfies the want on the surface and quietly delivers the need that is underneath. You don't lead with the need, you lead with the want, but you design the experience around the need. That is the difference between a good offer and a legendary offer. You are not solving a business problem. You are solving a human problem wearing a business costume. So, letter number 3 in our WAT framework is N, the new identity, who they become. Here's the secret. That's the world's converting offers share. They don't just promise a result, they promise a self. They sell the version of the client they most want to become. Nike doesn't sell shoes. We all know this. Nike doesn't sell shoes. They sell the athlete inside. Apple doesn't sell computers. They sell your identity as a creative, forward-thinking person. What does your client become when they work with you? Not just what they get, who do they become? A founder who leads with clarity instead of reactivity, a CEO who attracts instead of chases, an entrepreneur whose business works for them. Name that identity. Put it in your offer. That is what they are actually buying. So the fourth letter in want is T in this framework, the transformation path, the clear bridge. The final piece of a magnetic offer is certainty. Your client needs to see the bridge, not just the destination, the bridge. How do they get from where they are to who they're becoming? The clearer and more credible the path, the faster they say yes. Specificity builds trust. Vagueness creates hesitation. And hesitation kills deals. You know that. So what they want, what they actually need, the new identity, the transformation path, that is your magnetic offer framework. And we're going to use it in just a few minutes. Right here, right now. So, the entrepreneurs who consistently design magnetic offers share one superpower. They know their client's inner world better than the client, and they can articulate it themselves. When you can describe someone's situation, their fears, their frustrations, their secret ambitions more accurately than they can, you don't have to sell them anything. They reach for their wallet. There are 3 layers of client knowledge. you need to master in order to make this work. Layer 1, demographic reality. Who are they on paper? Revenue, industry, team size, stage of business. You are speaking to a founder or an entrepreneur who is running a real company, not someone building a side hustle. That distinction changes everything: your language, your price, and your promise. Layer 2, psychographic truth. What keeps them awake at 2 in the morning? And here's what I've learned. It is never really about the revenue number. It's about whether they're proud of what they've built, whether their business is expanding their life or consuming it. We're talking about fulfillment, how they feel about themselves, whether they still believe they can get to the next level. That is what your offer needs to speak to. Layer 3, the identity gap, the distance between who they are and who they know they're capable of being. This is the most powerful layer. When your offer speaks directly to the gap, when your client reads it and thinks, this person gets me, the sale happens before you even have to make that ask. So I want to do something right now. And before we do that, comment below just one word, because this is going to be part of the exercise. Describe the gap of your clients, of your best clients, what they are trying to close. One word. And I will respond to every single one in the comments. So we're going to put this to work right now. Put down your phone, pull out your notes, open your notes, grab a pen, something. We are going to do this live offer, and we're going to do a rewrite. So let's start step number 1. Your current offer, 60 seconds, write one sentence that describes what you're currently offering, what you actually say when someone asks you what you do. Just write it. Don't judge it. Just get it down. Good. Step 2, the diagnostic. 30 seconds. Underline every word that describes you or your process. Underline it. Then circle every word that describes your client's desired future. Now, this is in the one sentence that you created. Underline the words that describe you and circle the words that describe your client. Now, look at your sentence. If there are more underlines than circles, your offer is seller-centered, and we are flipping it right now. So step number 3, the want rewrite. Answer these 4 questions in your notes. Write it down, your answers, and write fast. Don't overthink it. So question number 1, what does my client want? Use their words. What does my client want? Use their words. Good. Question number 2, what do they actually need? The deeper driver underneath. What do they actually need? Good. Thank you for doing this. And question 3, who do they become? Name the new identity. Who do they become? And question number 4, what's the bridge? Name your process in one short phrase now. What's the bridge? What is the bridge? Now, combine those 4 answers into one sentence. Actually, I'm going to change that direction. What I want you to do is do it in 2 sentences. 2 sentences. Write the answers to those 4 questions in 2 sentences. And that is your magnetic offer. That is your magnetic offer. Here's something I want to share with you. Not as a strategy point, just as something I've observed. The highest performing entrepreneurs I know, the ones whose offers feel effortless and inevitable, they all have some form of deep reflective practice, somewhat like what we're doing here right now. Not a strategy session, not a mastermind call, a quiet practice where they slow down enough to actually hear what they most need to say. I personally use a daily journaling practice for this work. In fact, I have it right next to me because I use it a lot. I love this part of this daily journal and the other parts. It's so grounding. So I keep what I call my gratitude journal, and I use it specifically to excavate questions like, what result am I actually delivering that I've never fully named? Or what do my clients become that I've never given myself credit for creating? The answers that come up in that kind of practice, they are pure offer gold. They are the most compelling language you will ever put in front of a client because they come from truth, not from marketing template. They come from your truth. If that kind of clarity sounds like something you need, I'll put the link in the description for the journal, the exact link to the exact journal I use. It's simple, it's beautiful, and it has genuinely changed how I think about my own work. So let me push you further now, because we're talking about truly magnetic offers, not just good ones. And the difference between a good offer and a truly magnetic one is this. A good offer solves a problem. A magnetic offer opens a door to the client's ecosystem. Think about the entrepreneurs you admire, the ones who seem to attract clients effortlessly. Their offers don't just promise results, they invite someone into a world, a standard, a community, an environment where the client's growth is continuous, not transactional. There are 3 layers to an ecosystem offer. Layer 1, the immediate win, what they get in the first 30 days. That confirms they made the right decision. I'm sure you've been there. I know I'm talking to you about things that you do yourself when you are making buying decisions. So layer number 2, the sustained environment, the ongoing context that keeps accelerating their results. This is where peers live, where community lives, where accountability lives. Layer 3, the expanding identity, the longer arc of who they're becoming as a leader. And this is how they see it over time, who they are becoming from where they start to where it's ongoing, it's never ending. So it's that gap. So it's who they're becoming as a leader over time. When your offer operates on all three levels, it's an immediate win. Sustained environment, expanding identity. It stops being a purchase decision and starts being a life decision. Those sell themselves. Let me give you a real world example of what this ecosystem model looks like in practice, because I think it'll land differently than a theoretical framework. Inside CEO Reset Council, a group I work with for founders doing over $1 million in revenue, one of the things that makes it work isn't the curriculum. It isn't even the coaching. It's the room. When you're surrounded by peers who have normalized the standard you're still striving for, something shifts. Your ceiling becomes their floor, and your growth speeds up in ways that solo work simply cannot produce. What I've watched happen in that kind of environment is exactly what we're talking about today. Entrepreneurs stop designing their offers from scarcity and fear. They start designing from a clear-eyed understanding of the value they create, the clients they serve, and what it actually costs to deliver a transformation. And that shift, that moves from contraction to expansion, is when their revenue trajectory changes. The right environment doesn't just support your business, it calibrates your entire belief system about what's possible. If that level of peer environment is something you've been craving, an actual room of people raising the standard, and I'm going to share more about that in the description. So if this speaks to you, take a look at the description. Just know it exists, and it's built specifically for entrepreneurs at your level. So strategy is the architecture. Language is the electricity. You can have the best designed offer in your entire industry, but if the words are wrong, the lights don't come on. I'm going to give you 5 language shifts right now. Replace these in your offers immediately. So instead of we provide business consulting, say we help founders break through the ceiling. Their current strategy created. We help founders break through the ceiling. Their current strategy created. Number 2, instead of join our group program, say, step into a room that recalibrates what you believe is possible. Step into a room that recalibrates what you believe is possible. Example number 3, instead of 6-month engagement, say, in 6 months, your business and your identity as its leader will both be different. Example number 4, instead of here's what's included, say, here's what becomes available to you. here's what becomes available to you. Another example, instead of, I work with entrepreneurs, say, I work with founders who have already created proof of concept and are ready to scale without losing themselves in the process. One more example. The most magnetic sentence structure in any offer is this: I help, name a specific person who is, name the exact situation. Finally, what they achieve when they achieve this specific result. So I help entrepreneurs who is lost in their revenue building. And finally, they have a system and process that is helping them 10x their results without feeling the fear of the next team that they need because they know they have it right now. So without the fear or trade-off they're most afraid of. So I help specific person who is in this exact situation finally achieve, and then you put in the fill in the blank, achieve this specific result without the fear or trade-off they're most afraid of. Write that sentence. Post it on your wall. Read it before every sales conversation. And one more thing. If the identity piece we talked about today resonated with you, I want you to watch the wealth thermostat session in this series. Take a look at the list of videos that are available and look at the wealth thermostat session. It's pretty critical. It goes deeper on why your internal wiring determines the ceiling of what you'll allow yourself to charge. So I'll link it in a description below. And here's what I know about every entrepreneur watching this right now. You did not build what you've built by accident. You built it because you saw something other people didn't see yet. You took the risk. You stayed when it was hard. You figured it out. And somewhere along the way, maybe gradually, maybe suddenly, you started playing a little smaller than you're capable of. And this was in your pricing. You got smaller in your pricing, your positioning, and in the way you describe what you do. Not because you stopped believing in your work, but because the offer stopped fully reflecting the value you actually create. Today, we change that. You have the want framework. You did the rewrite. You know the difference between what the client says they want and what they actually need. You know in your gut that you are designing for who they become, not just what they get. The only question left is this: are you going to know this, or are you going to live it? The distinction of knowing something and implementing it. Are you going to know this, or are you going to live it? Because the entrepreneurs who win, the ones who build companies that feel as good on the inside as they look on the outside, they are the ones who implement before the inspiration fades. Your offer can be magnetic. Your revenues can reflect your real value. Your clients can find you because your message speaks their language, not yours. That version of your business is available to you starting now. If today gave you something real, not just something that was nice, but something that was real, but something that is going to change how you show up in your business this week, hit subscribe. New sessions every single week, real frameworks, real results, no filler. And for your next watch, I'd point you to two sessions from this series: the wealth thermostat I mentioned earlier for the internal work behind sustainable revenue growth, and the mind body mastery session for the leadership clarity that makes your offer delivery as strong as your offer design. Both are linked below. Build something magnetic, lead from your best self, and I'll see you next week. Live with passion and live triumphantly.